What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's Sowdev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. You're absolutely iconic. We have some PLLT to get into, but before we get into the team, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That's Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else. Now, Pretty Little Liars. I'm going to do an entire review of the actual season, so definitely hold that thought. It's not going to be this podcast, obviously. I'm just going to specifically talk about the finale. I feel like I need way more time to really sit down and break down everything that I'm feeling in regards to this season, especially compared to the first season. So this is just focusing, again, on the final episode. And first of all, let me go ahead and say, the final episode was 10 times better than the season 1 finale. It was amazing. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I feel that season 1 is better than season 2. And I'm going to get to that in the next podcast. So stay with me. Okay? So, I was so excited to see this finale because I feel like it was talked up quite a bit, It definitely set an expectation, not only with them hyping it up, but also us knowing Pretty Little Liars and how big reveals are and, how we see the result of the theories that everybody has. And, they're very intricate things, right? When it comes to Pretty Little Liars, the basis of being a Pretty Little Liars fan is the theories. It's breaking it down. It's finding those big moments throughout the episodes, the seasons, the series to really comprehend who the villain could be. Because with the Pretty Little Liars brand, you don't know who the villain is. You don't. You can assume. You watch the original Pretty Little Liars and you could be like, I think it's definitely Cece. But this is think. You think it could be Cece. We've seen Cece, in a red coat. We've seen Cece in literally a black hoodie in season 3 of Pretty Little Liars. But despite that, season 4, season 5, still, it's just a wonder in people's heads. They're like, oh, I think it could be Cece. I'm sure you've probably said it's probably Cece, but you weren't sure of it. They never gave you the opportunity to be sure of anything. Period. And, sure, you could find that annoying, but that is the basis of the show. You're not going to know who it is. It's not going to be easy to find out, but there are specific clues. There are clues that guide you in the right direction where when you do figure out who this villain is, you're like, oh, because I can go back and I can go watch Pretty Little Liars and I can see all the details where Cece was we literally saw Cece in a black hood. But again, we saw her in A, B, C, D, Arrested, Good Girl, Allison, you know what I mean? We saw so many different versions of so many different people. Even Toby, even Mona, you know what I mean? You never had a chance to know who was who. The mystery is missing from this show. This is what I would say would be a simplified version, a more digestible version of Pretty Little Liars with a horror type avenue that it has taken. That's what I say, and I say it all the time. And, I'm just watching this finale and the whole season, I've known in my head, I didn't wonder if it was Chip's mom. I knew Bloody Rose was Chip's mother. But in my head, I'm like, you know what? This is the Pretty Little Liars universe. I know it's Chip's mom because I understand Roberto at this point. I know Roberto. I know his style of TV. I've watched Riverdale 1 through 7. I've seen where it has gone from 1 to 2 to 3 to the 4th season. I've seen where Sabrina has gone from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd season. We've seen it over and over again. He's constantly have proved his point to us. So I feel like at this point in time, it's just kind of like, well, what the hell do I expect at this point? So I expected it to be simple and just right there in my face, and it was. But again, I hope that it was not that, because how simple, how basic, how wow. You couldn't have done better. And, girl, with Wes being a villain, and we've known since the beginning that Wes is a villain, whether he's killing somebody or not. He has been the villain. So, mind you, everybody's already expecting at some point he is going to turn and become the villain. That is expected. Chip's mom getting revenge because of the girls. That's expected. I didn't expect Mona to be fucking A. I didn't expect Cece to be A. I wondered, after several seasons, right? 3, 4, 5, and half of 6, right? We had plenty of time to come to that conclusion. And I get it. Oh, it only has 8 episodes and blah, 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 blah. No. I don't care. I don't care how many episodes it has. Do better writing. Better writing is what it's going to boil down to, especially when it comes to these episodes with Roberto. Girl, one thing I will say, look, and this has nothing to do with the girls. That is what I'm going to say. Nothing. The girls' performance, fantastic. They make the show. I say the same thing with Riverdale. They make the show. Riverdale cast made the show. Sabrina's cast made the show. The writing lacks, and that's why everybody talks about Riverdale being Riverdale, because they just know how freaking crazy Roberto is with his writing. And it's fine. It could be camp. You could do whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like you have viewers and you create such a quality first season, and you kind of let them down along the way. You get people invested into this world, into these characters. And, I couldn't help but, like, when they went into that little trolley where, I believe they left Rose Waters in that little trolley over there. For whatever reason, why the fuck would they leave her there? Anywho, it just reminded me of Jughead's little old den. You remember season 7, Veronica went to go visit him in his little den when they had their little fling or whatever. It just reminded me of that. You know what I mean? And then the cult, it's reminded me of Riverdale with that cult. Like, it's just so many different things, working at the movie theater, a character is obsessed with movies. And it's just the fact that a lot of it feels like just you recreating what you've already done. And I don't think we want to see that. Yikes. Yikes, baby. Come on now. First of all, Chandler, Miss Tabby, beautiful performance. That's what I want to see out of a final girl. You've executed that so well. So well. I'm not sure how Wes survived you stabbing him in the chest with the pitchfork to get arrested, but whatever. There's a lot of issues I had. The Reckoning issue. I have a lot of issues with The Reckoning. Now, you've got a bunch of people chasing you around in the name of Bloody Rose for the sake of, I don't know, fulfilling their purge fantasies, maybe. I don't fucking know. But I'm watching them chase the girls to the car, right? And I'm just like, wait, what? You mean to tell me that these people are coming to kill these girls? And when the girls get in the car and the people catch up to the car, I see people tapping on the fucking windows. Why the hell are they tapping on the fucking windows when they got sledgehammers? They got sledgehammers in their hands. They're coming to kill the girls. You mean to tell me people that's coming to kill them motherfucking girls are going to tap on the motherfucking windows of the car? No, they're going to smash them goddamn windows with the sledgehammers and do whatever to get to those girls. You need to make me believe that these people are going to get these girls. I did not feel that. You did not execute that. What the fuck? Tapping on the window. Even if you went to a broken down motherfucking garage and did some B-roll where you're just banging on the motherfucking glass of the doors just to get some, cutaways or whatever, or something. something. That was seriously lacking. I was so disappointed with that. I was like, are you serious? That was one of the most frustrating parts. I was like, wow, like, what a way to kind of lose intensity. Next. Johnny in the fucking freezer. Now, first of all, I thought they handled, like, I genuinely loved the moment, and I got so scared that she was going to whack Johnny in the head, because we saw Johnny get pulled off the ground, and we just, a lot of us were like, is he going to die? You know what I mean? And seeing Imogen whack his ass upside the head, I was gagged. Genuinely, I was like, oh my God, Imogen, what the fuck are you doing? I know that she's traumatized. I know that she's going through a lot. I totally understand that. You know what I mean? Like, a reaction like that. I mean, bodies in the freezer of the ice cream shop? Who put that there? Who put those bodies there? Did Bloody Rose? They just left that up to our imaginations. We literally never got an answer for those bodies in the freezer. Next, Imogen left Johnny in the freezer. And we found out about how that got resolved by a little flashback or whatever of Kelly opening the door and letting him out. And then we just see their reaction, so to speak. Oh, this was filmed. The writer's strike. I get it. I got it. Understood, heard. However, this didn't start filming. You had so much time to really think on this and to pan this out. And you can't, I could say, oh, the writer's strike. But again, this is a theme with all of your shows, writer's strike or not. So that's really not helping you here. And then, let me tell you something. One of the worst things that Pretty Little Liars ever did was drag on Paige and Emily. Why the hell do we still have Noah and Jen together? What? They are throwing Noah's character out the fucking window. And why are they villainizing Sean? And I understand that Sean has played his own part, especially with the drugs and the lying and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And that was a trigger for her. And Roberto said that in an interview as if it was going to level the playing field of Jen. Sean helped you, aka Noah. Sean helped Noah bail out Jen. And then Jen broke into Sean's house after Jen and Noah had sex and Noah cheated on Sean. Had plenty of opportunities to tell him. And then, after he figured it out, came over, punched a hole in the wall, she beat the fuck out of his car. I don't think Sean the motherfucking villain here. The common denominator is Jen, and they want this character to stick around. That nobody wants, literally. I have never seen so many gays massively not like a gay character since Paige and Pretty Little Liars. Is that ironic? No. It's not going to make people keep watching. Get rid of her. Like, no shade. No shade. And I do understand you don't want to listen to audience for direction. And you know what I mean? You do have to have a clear boundary with that. But that is a significant thing that your audience doesn't want to see. And he has a habit of doing what his audience doesn't want to see. And it's a terrible payoff for the audience. We've been invested into this world. Now you've introduced things that people just do not want. And it's not a thing where, oh, it's just a little section of people over here that don't want it, but they're loud on Twitter, so it now makes it seem like everybody wants it when it's really just a small amount of people. No, bitches don't want her. And I mean everybody. Is really that serious. So I think they need to do something to get rid of her. I mean, look, put her in another area and leave her and Noah alone. I don't give a fuck. Put Noah with another girl if you want to. Stop villainizing Sean. I'm not sure why they cut the scene where it kind of brings up Noah and Sean's relationship, because it really just kind of left it on that sour note. And, you know, one thing that I was glad to see was the turmoil that we got at the last episode. It's really weird that we had to wait to the last episode of the second season to get any really sort of turmoil. And I've heard people say, you know, or we had the point where the girls, you remember Farron and Noah and all of them, they really kind of had their doubts about the whole situation, that they were going to snitch. That situation specifically wasn't really enough. Because I've said it a billion times also as well, that this is a more simplified version. You know, one of the best things about Pretty Little Liars was the banter and the turmoil, and, you know, we got to see the girls eat each other up. We got to see them clock each other. You know, it had a sense of realism to it. In this case, it is really not the case. I mean, you have 5 high school girls really going through all of this trauma, and yes, they support each other, they love on each other, but also at the same time, they're real ass friends. They should be calling each other out. And again, I don't like the fact that we had to wait until the end of season 2 to really kind of see that banter of real friends. We should have seen throughout the series, even when Noah mentioned about her cheating with Jen and Sean. I genuinely, and I mean genuinely, think that oh my goodness, I can't. I'm honestly kind of baffled. Because when I think about the fact that several things happened where in real time, bitches is gonna clock you. You cheated? Girl, what do you mean? That's crazy. Why haven't you told Sean? Like, what do you mean Farron isn't clocking? The only time Farron is clocking is after they're all frustrated after they fail an exam. I get it. But like, come on. Like, we just have to do better writing. We need to have time for those moments. Those moments are, oh my goodness, they create such an investment in the characters, but they feel so closed off within each other, that is. I love that at the heart of it, it is their friendship and the love and the support that they have for each other. But girl, it's gonna have to be more complex than that. Again, look at OGPLL. How Emily would clock Spencer. How Emily would clock Hannah. Like, Hannah's drunk and Emily eats her the fuck up. Like, come on. Come on. We're gonna have to do better. Especially if we're going into a season 3. I don't know that they are. The way that fans are discussing this finale, I mean, I do hope that they get a season 3, but wow, I mean, you pissing off the people that gotta watch to help you get a season 3. And what I know from Roberto, especially in season 7 of Riverdale, he doesn't give a fuck about the fans' payoff. He's gonna do whatever he wants to do. And that's fine. It's clear they're allowing him to do that. But again, people are going to stop investing in his shows. If he didn't have Pretty Little Liars, what do you think he would have right now? No shade. Sabrina's gone, Riverdale's gone, and Katie Keene is gone. There was another pilot he tried to get off the ground and that didn't go. He's really good at introducing you into these worlds. You can't say that a person like that doesn't have talent because, again, look at the quality of the TV shows. But, like, you know, obviously he's obsessed with the comics, the teen shows, because Sabrina came from, you know, there was a basis to it. We all know Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Riverdale, the Archie comics. Pretty Little Liars. Well, Pretty Little Liars in the books. Come on. I mean, there's source material to everything that he has. And I don't feel like anything has really been from the ground up. I mean, even Katie Keene. I don't feel like too many things have been the ground up. I feel like that he's taken a lot of things and he has spun them into something new, which I think everything is essentially a recreation of something already made. For the most part, it is. So I'm not really hating on that. But things are starting to be recycled in his series, as I've mentioned. in the way I feel about the finale overall doesn't reflect the girls' performances. It has nothing to do with the girls at all. I have no complaints from the girls that episode. They ate that the fuck up. I wonder where Greg was. I wonder where Henry was. And I also wonder where Sean was. Like, I keep thinking writer's strike. Because the back end of that finale, it was a whole 50-minute finale. And I do feel like time was wasted. I was well entertained, but I feel like time was wasted. They could have used a lot of time for other stuff to really hone in. Look, I don't know. Because something about the time where the reckoning came where all the kids chased them into the movie theater and they had to sneak out and all of that. I just felt like that was such a waste of time. I mean, I get it for the sake of the story, especially with Spooky Spaghetti and Bloody Rose controlling people. I mean, the bitch is controlling people through Spooky Spaghetti, essentially. So, like, that's weird. I'm just not fucking with the writing. It's gonna have to be better for season 3. This episode was very messy. A better finale than season 1, for sure. Crazy. Villains being people who you haven't really seen before is so annoying. I don't know, like, what? I mean, season 1, Archie goes to jail. And then, obviously Archie. What the hell made them decide to name this person Archie? Really? In the same universe as Riverdale? Like, I can't. No, I can't. I can't. Be fucking for real. I just have to ask that. There's no other A name they could have used? Just curious. Anyhow. Girl, Archie goes to jail. Season 2, Bloody Rose comes about. And then at the end of season 2, Archie breaks out of prison, which we obviously knew that was going to happen. So, what the fuck is season 3 gonna look like? We obviously have Archie on the run again. Archie decides he's going to kill Dr. Sullivan. They've ruined Dr. Sullivan's character entirely. And I do mean entirely. So, her getting killed at the end, no fight, just dropped to her knees. She wanted to know if he killed her son. You already know the answer to that. The Dr. Sullivan that we knew, obviously this is a twisted version, but again, there's source material there. You should probably abide by it. So, I just felt like they took the character in a completely off-putting direction. I think they could have obviously, done the whole thing. I don't think they needed to kill her, but fine. I feel like that gives a window to bring the girls from the OG PLL back. Girl, why can't I get PLL out? I said PLL, bitch, like, too many L's rolling out my mouth. Come on now. No, but I hope we do see them next season. I think if anybody... Now, Kelly said some relatives in Rosewood. She's blonde. Allison is definitely her fucking cousin. Allison has to be. Which would make Spencer also her cousin. I'm just saying. But it definitely gives a window for the girls to come in. And that's so natural that they discuss. It has to be natural how we write this in. You know what I mean? But, like, understand how natural that is. Dr. Sullivan died at the end of season 3. We know the basis of Pretty Little Liars being the girls being at a funeral. So the girl showing up to Dr. Sullivan's funeral is so iconic. That would genuinely be so iconic. The girls helping them out, I feel like they do need to incorporate Pretty Little Liars, the OG, in some form or fashion. They're going to have to incorporate it into the series because it's not doing enough. At all. I'm actually hoping that they decide that when the time comes, we're going to do this and we're going to do this right. I don't feel like they have too many chances left on their end of things. Season 3 may very well end up being their last season. If I was a person looking at this show overall to see if I would renew it, I probably wouldn't. No shade. But I probably wouldn't renew it. And should it? They shouldn't waste it. Next season needs to be written like the final season, especially with Archie being out. It needs to be treated like it's going to be the final season. Nothing else to really say. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I really don't. I was annoyed as hell to see Dr. Sullivan sit there, die, and fall on her knees like, all right, bitch, get up. Fight back. So, obviously, Dr. Sullivan, who pushed her down the stairs, it had to be Bloody Rose, clearly. So, okay. What was Bloody... Okay. What does Chip's mom and Bloody Rose have to do with Dr. Sullivan? I'm curious. Because, obviously, Rose Waters was her patient. That's the connection. But Bloody Rose isn't Angela Rose. So the only connection for somebody coming after Dr. Sullivan would be, okay, Angela Rose was her patient. Now she's coming after her, especially after, she talked to the girls about her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. But it's not making sense to me now. Like, what does Chip's mom have against the girls? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. What was the motive? And then capturing her and blah, blah, blah. Like, they never told Dr. Sullivan that it could be Chip's mom. Like, she never sent them in the direction to maybe tell the police. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that points to why Dr. Sullivan would have been a target for anybody other than Archie. When she was the therapist for the girls, Mona directly knew that the girls was sending her in their direction. With what the girls were speaking to her about, it would have allowed her to actually, and pause. Because Mona eventually started seeing Dr. Sullivan. So it makes sense why she would be kidnapped or why she would be missing or on a drunk. Like, it made sense why that would be the result. And I have to assume that Archie came after, the therapist because I'm not sure. Okay, did Archie find out that Dr. Sullivan was discussing him or told the girls that, how did he find out? There are several dots that got to connect. I was being told that all will be revealed and all wasn't revealed because all wasn't addressed. So, what's going on here? It's so interesting. And we actually never heard Dr. Sullivan discuss her actually having an experience with an A. She didn't have to speak about the girls' names or directly. She came across an experience with A before, and that wasn't addressed. It's like it didn't exist. So, they have a lot of work to do. I feel like they've definitely drove the series into the ground for me personally in the second season. I feel like the second season definitely was a better quality performance from the cast. They did the best with what they were given. They always do. every cast that Roberto was on. Yep, the casting department for all of his shows, quality. Yep, for sure. I love those girls. I really do. And I hope to be able to see them right next to the OG PLLs. What a crazy, crazy, crazy thing that would be to see. And I hope we see it soon eventually. But that's really all I have to say for now. I'm so over it. I'm not going to repeat myself with a lot of this stuff. I'm going to literally discuss the entire second season and review it, because I think there's a lot to discuss, and this finale is really a gateway to that. So stick around. The next podcast, we will be doing exactly that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. And make sure you go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms at That's Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else. I appreciate you. You're iconic. And again, I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.